All right, so today we're diving into something kind of different, right? We're talking about OOFOS.
OOFOS, yeah. They're an interesting case study, for sure.
They make recovery footwear, and I'll admit, before I read this Harvard Business School case study from 2024, I didn't even know recovery footwear was like a thing.
It's a relatively new category, so
Yeah,
you're not alone, but they're really onto something, tapping into this need for footwear that's not just about comfort, but also about actively helping your feet and body recover.
exactly. And they've got some big names backing them up, too. The case study mentioned Tiger Woods, Alex Smith, like these guys are seen wearing OOFOS, but here's the catch.
The catch.
They're still a pretty small company overall, so how do they go from, like, niche footwear brand to household name? That's what we're going to dig into today.
It's a classic growth challenge. And this particular case study, it really highlights the decisions OOFOS is facing as they try to scale up.
Yeah, and some of these decisions are tough. Like, they've got this really loyal customer base, people who already get the whole recovery footwear thing. But to really grow, they might need to branch out, and that comes with a whole new set of challenges, right?
Absolutely. It's a balancing act, for sure.
Yeah.
Sticking with what you know versus venturing into uncharted territory, this case study, it dives right into the heart of that dilemma.
And that is exactly where we're headed. So they really are trying to figure out how to grow, how to get their name out there, and it seems like they're like all over the place with their marketing.
Yeah, they're experimenting, for sure. The case study talks about how they're doing social media campaigns, try to build a community.
Yeah, right. They call them their movers, which I kind of love, by the way.
It's kitschy. Yeah. And they're even giving, like, traditional TV advertising a shot, which, in this day and age, you don't always see that with newer companies.
No, you don't. So what's the biggest challenge with their marketing then? Is it convincing people their technology actually works?
It's interesting you say that. That's actually not the main hurdle they're facing. The case study, it suggests that the bigger issue is actually getting people to understand why they even need recovery footwear to begin with.
It's like selling an entirely new concept, right?
Yeah.
Like not just a product, but a whole way of thinking about taking care of your feet.
Exactly. And that makes their marketing strategy really intriguing. They devoted a significant portion of their direct-to-consumer budget, like 27%, I think, to TV advertising.
Wow, 27%. That's a lot. And what happened?
Well, it did lead to a spike in their website traffic and even sales, but it also kind of exposed a vulnerability for OOFOS.
Ooh, okay, I'm listening. What's the vulnerability?
It boils down to sustainability. While those TV spots, they made a splash in the short term, the case study suggests that long-term, OOFOS simply can't keep pace with the marketing powerhouses, your Nikes, your Adidas, those guys, they play in a whole different league.
Yeah, it's like they're trying to out yell a jumbo jet, you know what I mean? Like, good luck with that. So where does that leave them?
That's where their brand awareness data gets really interesting. So the case study, it reveals that their unaided brand awareness is actually pretty low, especially when compared to these big players we were just talking about.
Right, makes sense. No one really knows who they are yet.
Yeah. However, and this is key, among people who are already familiar with, recovery footwear as a category, OOFOS, they're right up there at the top.
Okay, so they're leading the pack, but only within a very, very specific group of people.
Right, which brings us right back to that core challenge, defining their audience. Who are they making these shoes for?
And maybe even more importantly, how do they reach those people without breaking the bank, right?
Now you're getting it. And that's what makes this case study so fascinating. It really digs into how OOFOS is grappling with these questions, these make-or-break decisions about their future.
All right, so let's get into it then. What does the case study say about how they're tackling this? So we've talked about the challenges, right? OOFOS saying they need to boost their brand awareness, big time, and they need to figure out who their ideal customer really is.
And they've got to do all this while still, staying true to themselves, to that unique thing they've got going on.
Exactly. So what's the secret sauce? Does the case study lay out a roadmap for them?
Well, it's not quite that simple,
Yeah.
but it does offer, some pretty insightful perspectives on their target demographics, particularly when you compare their existing customer base, the pain sufferers, with that younger, more active crowd they're hoping to attract, the workout warriors.
Yeah, I mean, those are two pretty different groups of people, right?
Yeah.
Different needs, different priorities.
Exactly. And that begs the question, can OOFOS really be all things to all people?
Right. Can they be the go-to shoe for your grandma with plantar fasciitis and the marathon runner looking to shave minutes off their next race.
It's a tough needle to thread. The case study suggests that while their current focus on comfort, on pain relief, it definitely resonates with their existing customers, appealing to these workout warriors. It might require a bit of a different approach.
Okay, so less about like soothing aches and pains and more about like enhancing performance.
You got it.
Okay.
It's about positioning OOFOS as an essential tool for, reaching peak athletic potential, for optimizing recovery, not just a way to pamper tired feet.
Okay, I see what you're saying. It's a subtle shift, but it could be a really important one. But, we have to talk about the elephant in the room here, the design.
Yes.
The design.
The case study, it mentions some people finding the sandals a little, let's just say, a little clunky looking.
Right. Not exactly the most, shall we say, fashion-forward footwear out there. So can OOFOS really break into the fitness fashion scene if their shoes aren't seen as, cool or aspirational?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And it's something the CEO of OOFOS even acknowledges in the case study. He talks about the importance of establishing the brand as a household name, and let's be real, that kind of recognition, it often comes with a certain level of, style.
So are we talking a complete design makeover then? Like new look, new OOFOS?
Not necessarily. I mean, fashion is fickle, right? What's uncool one day could be the next big thing. It's happened before. And OOFOS, they have a real opportunity here to sort of redefine what comfy looks like, to make it, dare I say, aspirational.
Like imagine if wearing OOFOS became the new status symbol, like everyone's got to have a pair.
Exactly. They become synonymous with recovery footwear. You think recovery, you think OOFOS. Just like you think tissues, you think Kleenex.
That's a powerful image. But how do they get there?
It's a long road. They've got to solidify their target audience, make sure their message is resonating with the right people, and maybe, just maybe, they need to think about some strategic design choices that can, bridge that gap between comfort and style.
It's a lot to juggle, but, as we've seen throughout this whole deep dive, OOFOS, they have a knack for defying the odds. They started small, had this kind of out there idea, and now they've got big-time athletes sporting their sandals. It's a testament to their innovation, their willingness to, try new things and adapt. Whether they reach that ultimate goal of becoming a household name, well, that remains to be seen. But they've definitely got us thinking differently about footwear, about the importance of prioritizing recovery.
And isn't that the point of a deep dive like this? To get us thinking, to spark those conversations. So what do you think out there? Are you ready to embrace the ooh? Would you rock a pair of these recovery sandals? We want to hear from you. Hit us up on social media. Let's keep this conversation going. And until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and keep those feet happy.